Hello, welcome to the first MIMViz training course. In this series, we want to practice the principles of animation from basic to professional in 3ds Max software. In this course, we assume you don't know anything about animation, so everything will be explained. Our effort is to continue these trainings regularly. So accompany us on this path. Let's start training without wasting time. Before anything else, let me give an explanation about the animation structure. Each animation is a set of still images that are placed one after the other. Its basis is frame per second. There are different systems for this, which we will learn about later. At first, it is better to get familiar with the interface of the animation section. For better understanding, we entered this object and animated it. In the first part, we have the timeline where we can see the animation over time by dragging the slider in two directions. You can also move between frames by tapping on the small arrows on the slider. In this section, you can play or stop the animation, move between frames, or go to the end or the beginning of the animation. From this section, we go directly to that frame by typing the frame number. Shortcuts can be used for higher speed. With the help of the question key, you can play or stop the animation, and you can also move between frames with the help of dot and comma. Well, it is better to go to one of the main parts of this session, namely time configuration, which we can have from this part. In the first section, we have the frame rate. This means the number of frames per second, and as the number increases, we will have a smoother animation. Usually, in movies, frame rate with the number 24 is used, which is used in the film system. Of course, the frame rate 25 and 30 are also among the most used in the cinema, which are in the NTSC system. You can also use a custom frame rate and assign a number to it. So in frame rate 24, we have 24 still images per second. To control the speed, we can move the key created for the object. In this way, we can also control the length of the animation. You can also change the format of the timeline and, for example, have control on the stage based on time. But it is better to work with frame. In the playback section, you can slow down or speed up the preview in the viewport without changing the animation time, so you can see it this way. With the help of active viewport only, we specify that only the preview happens in the active viewport, which is very useful in heavy scenes. By turning off the loop, we stop the animation in the last frame and it does not repeat. By turning off real time, we can see the preview in reverse or ping pong, which are usually useless. There are two ways to make animation: set key and auto key, both of which we will work. The first method is the set key, which turns the bar red when you press it. By selecting the object and pressing the plus button, you can create a key in the desired frame. Now move the slider forward and move the object and press plus again. This can be repeated in several frames. We see that our object is animated. You can move the keys and get different speeds. To delete the created animation, we select them and delete them. The next method is auto key. In this method, the plus is removed and it is enough to move the slider and move the object. They are created automatically. With the help of in and out tangent, we can determine how the object should behave at the beginning and end of the movement. move slowly, quickly, or steadily. We take several copies of the object and animate them in the direct path. We animate each one with a state to know the difference. I will do the last object with another mode. By playing the video, you can understand the difference in the type of movement and the beginning and end. For more control, we must use the curve editor, which can be accessed from this section. You can also see it by right-clicking. To pan, you need to press and shake the mouse scroll. You can use Ctrl, Alt, and scroll to zoom. With the help of these options in the bottom bar, you can also zoom in on the entire available data or only a part of it. On the left side, the coordinates and data of the selected objects are displayed. You can see the data of the same section by selecting each one. Here, you can see the difference in the movement diagram of the objects side by side. Here, you can also select any key and specify how to animate it from this section. You can also play with its handle and control its speed. For example, we create an animation that is fast and then slows down. From this section, we can create a new key and make any necessary changes. Moving, specifying input and output, and playing with handles. To delete it, just select it and press delete. Now you can do this with most of the features of 3ds Max, which we will get to know later. Here we can also add rotate. Of course, the direction is not correct. You can also select the key and drag it anywhere or specify its place by entering a number. Tangent can also be specified for rotate. Everything depends on you. Let's do this with a modifier. We add bend. We give AutoKey the method and changes and see that it is applied. The principles of work are fixed. Now, if we want to move our object in a curved path, what should we do? In this case, we must use the path constraint technique. To use this technique, we select the object and go to the animation menu and select the desired option from the constraint section and assign the line to it. To delete and change the line, we can refer to the motion menu. To specify the starting point, just make first the desired vertex. It can also be controlled from the Along Path section. By activating AutoKey, you can make changes and even create a new key and control the speed. In this case, normally, we cannot change the tangent for the key, and we have to go to the controller from the Edit menu and click Assign and select the Bezier Float option. Now we can apply the changes. The follow option changes the direction of the object relative to the path and basically follows it. This is great for animating the camera. It is better to create a dummy and link the camera to it. We align the camera with it. If the target is on, then the camera moves around the target and on the path, and if it is off, its direction depends on the direction of the dummy. You can understand this by rotating the dummy. In the Motion tab, if we click Follow, the camera will follow the line completely. We can also apply any changes we need in the curve editor. Well, you are familiar with the basic principles of animation, and you can use your creativity to create attractive animations. In the next session of this series, you will learn about motion blur animation. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support us. Goodbye.